What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we got some skid plates from Levelup Suspension. Shout out to Levelup Suspension for sending them over. We're just doing some test fitting for them. They did make some evap skids for the 3rd gen Colorado, so we're gonna go ahead and test it out. If you didn't know by now, my name is Jordan. Let's go check it out. All right, so I want to say this is like a prototype. This is from Levelup. They did send this over to confirm fitment on the trail bosses. We all know it fits the ZR2, no problem. I want to say it's the same, but you might be surprised. So we're going to go ahead and get this installed. You got a little bit longer of a bolt right here, and you have like this little spacer. So a couple little parts, not much hardware. Looks like an easy install. Let's check out under the truck. I already pulled one bolt out right there, if you can't tell. Kind of just the one that holds everything in place. So right here is what you're currently working with for your evap skid. It's just some plastic. It's going to get torn up if you hit trails. If you can look right over there, you can tell I already hit my frame a couple times on some rocks right over here. So yeah, we're going to go ahead. Like I said, there's one bolt over there that I did take out already, and then you have about 2 more that are right here in the frame. So you just got some nuts you got to pull off right there. And I want to say this whole evap system might drop down. So what I'm going to do is grab some jack stands just in case, and we'll show you guys the process. Shouldn't be too complicated of an install, but what you're going to need: deep well 13 mil. You're going to need a deep well 13 mil, and obviously a socket wrench. So let's go ahead and make this easy, and let's get started. All right, so we're gonna get that jack stand, just kind of put it underneath here, just in case this wants to fall. There we go. I don't think this is like that heavy, so even if it does fall, it should be okay. So let's go ahead. So we got this bolt out already, the one that's over here. Now we're gonna work on these 2 in here. It's just 2 nuts, like I said, 13 mil. And they are not even very tight, to be honest with you. If the whole thing's connected, that's going to kind of suck, but we'll find out right now. That's exactly why we're doing this for you guys, so we can figure it all out, make it easier on you. How to keep that nut from falling in the frame, I'm not sure. But we're going to try to make sure that doesn't happen. So there is a little hole right here. So if that nut does fall, you got a good chance of being able to get it out of there. Bang, look at that. We saved it. Go to the other one, which is located. So your first one's right here. There's 3 holes. First one's right here. Another one's right here. You don't really need to access this one. And then your 3rd one is right here. Clear visual of what I'm talking about, these holes. You got 1 hole there, a 2nd hole, but you don't need that one. And there's your 3rd. You can kind of see the bolts that are in there. And you just have these nuts that you have to take off. So it's a little bit of a struggle because you don't want to drop them in the frame. That would really suck. And I'm not sure how I would get that out if that happens, so just be careful. All right, guys, super sorry I didn't get that on video. It's pretty difficult being a one-man show over here with this. So all I did, like I said, you take those nuts off, okay? Next step is you're gonna come back here. The easiest way I found it was I literally rolled back here. So here's your evap canister, okay? I rolled back here. Just be mindful, you got a lot of wires back here. You got hoses, you got things like that. So you don't want to tug on it too hard, but I didn't have to unclip anything. I just very gently pulled this back. And then with my leg, I had the skid plate, kind of like that. Held it up, okay? And then pushed it in just enough to where those 2 holes in the skid plate, just enough to where those two holes in the skid plate could meet up with those bolts, and it literally popped in very gently, like I said, and then you're going to just push up and it's going to click into place all by itself. So with all the wires and the cables and everything that are holding that evap canister up without all this, it's very easy. Okay, so that stuff's there and it's almost like it wants to return to home. So super easy. Once you get that done, we're going to go ahead and bolt everything back up. Should be fairly easy. Altogether, guys, it probably took me like 15-20 minutes tops, and that's just because I was being gentle, didn't want to drop the screws in the frame, or the nuts in the frame, sorry about that. And then also I was worried about messing with those wires and cables down there. I'm not familiar with this kind of stuff, so I just wanted to make sure everything was done properly. All right, let's go get these bolts back in. I'll show you guys how that works. Super easy. So what's going on now is that bolt, you know, the one that I was talking about, that goes right over there. So that one's not really wanting to fit. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, it's barely off by like, I don't know, like a couple millimeters, maybe like 2 millimeters or something, super small. So first things first, we're going to button this up the side with these two. We're going to tighten it down real tight, and it should put everything in place to where we can get that last and final bolt in there, and everything will be buttoned up. So let's go ahead and tighten those up, and we'll see where we're at. All right, guys, so your best bet to get that one in, you're gonna have to play with it just a little bit. I did use the OEM factory one just because it is a tad bit longer than the one they sent out, and it's a little bit tricky, but your best bet is to have these two loose, okay? And you're gonna wiggle this around, and you're gonna come under here and look, and then you're gonna find those threads. Like I said, it's a little bit tricky. It didn't take too long. The fitment is still there, but like I said, just a little bit tricky. Probably the hardest part of the install is that, because it's tricky, and then not dropping these nuts into your frame. So yeah, we're gonna finish buttoning it all up, and then we'll show you guys how it looks underneath. We're all done. Alright, so now if you have your factory one all jacked up, looking bad, this is what it should look like when you're all done. I like how they do have those holes in there. It's going to kind of help drain. And like I said, we're just doing some test fitting for these guys over here. Came out great. Love it. Can't have too much protection on the undercarriage if you're putting these trucks to work. Anyways, guys, that does it for today's video. All you're going to need is a 13 mil socket, deep well preferably. Do that, lift up your truck a little bit just for comfort, getting underneath it, and that's all you really need. They supply you with the hardware. They got a little spacer in there just to fill in that little gap between the factory skid and the new skid, and fitment's good. Everything's good. We're loving it. Now we got to go test it out. I appreciate you guys as always. Stay tuned. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. We are going to have some very big news coming to the channel very soon. I'm excited to share it with you guys. And make sure you check the descriptions. We got a lot of good stuff in there. I did forget to mention one thing. If you are interested in those skid plates, they can be found at levelupsuspension.com. Do check the description. I have a discount code in there for you guys. 10% off anything you buy using my code. I get nothing for it. It's just I wanted to help you guys out. Level Up wanted to help you guys out, and we decided to collab on that. So make sure you guys check it out. I appreciate you guys as always. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.